Wonderful. So I'll translate you this Midrash. Midrash Rabbah, Bereshit, Parashat Chet, פסקה י'. אמר רב הושע, בשעה שברא הקדוש ברוך הוא אדם הראשון, in a time when Hashem created man, first Adam, not man, just for Adam, טעו מלאכי השרת, angels make mistake, וביקשו לומר לפניו קדוש, and they wanted to glory him, to say that you are God, worship him. And there are few midrashim like this, not just this one. It's not something strange, special, but there are few. And we see that that exist in all our sages and what Chazal said and Rashi said, that a lot of time it comes the same, some worry, that they worry that people will confused and they'll think that a man, Adam, this is a God. And we try to understand what it means. What does it mean? In order to understand what it means, we see some another midrash that about how Adam gave names to animals. You probably remember that it's written in Torah that in the sixth day of creation, man gave names to animals. And the Midrash says that that Hashem asked angels, should we create a man, Adam? And they say, what it is, Adam? What is that? Who is it? Hashem told them, he is cleverer than you. They don't believe. So Hashem brought them those animals and asked what's their names, and they didn't know how to call them. So he created a man, he brought those animals to him, and he says, this is a horse, this is a donkey, this is a camel, and this is an ox. And they saw that he's clever. And I ask about this midrash. Why angels couldn't give names? What's the problem? To give name? Or why is such a great thing that Adam gave names? So big deal, I also can give names. If you'll force me, I'll give names to all stars, or to all flies, or to all cats in the street. This is a little Cecilia. This will be Margaret. I'll give a lot of, or I'll find some, imagine some names. What's the problem? Why it's such a great thing? Malbim, one of the greatest commentaries of Torah, he says, no, it wasn't just some poetic ability of a man to give names. It's not that. He understood their essence. How he understood their essence? Why angels didn't understand the essence? And he says, no, because their essence were included in Adam's soul. Adam knew that he has in his personality, in himself, there is something cruel. And when he was aware of this quality of his character, that would create in our world a tiger. It's like a symbol of cruelness.
זה קשור לכלב?
Yeah. And he realized that he has some loyalty in his heart, in himself, some loyalty. And this loyalty create a dog. And he saw that he has some ability to do things quickly, and that would create ends in the world. And I'll read what Malbim says.
I got it.
And they are very, very quickly. And that's what it's like this is ability. What he says. Nishmat Adam. No, just a moment. Yeah. Lechel nimala atzel. If you are lazy, so go see what there are ants on the in the world. רואה דרכי וחכם. כל כוחות מעשה בראשית נטועים בנפש אדם. All forces of all reality, of all creation, they are included in his soul, in soul of man. וכל כוח ומידה שימצא אדם במין ומין בעלי חיים, ידע כי כן נמצא גם בנפשו. And if you see some quality that exists in any animal, you should know that this quality you have also. These kind of things. For example, if you are wonder of something, that it's an elephant. It in Hebrew it's pil, it's wonder. They are excited, wonder, wow, pil. That's in a word elephant in Hebrew, pil. Pil, it means wonderment. And if you see some ability to starve a long time and to go and to be there, this is a camel. And if you see that ox has a power and otzma, like not just power, just some. This is
Raw power.
how
Raw power.
raw power. That is we have this kind of thing. Now it's that's what they say. Now we ask, so who is what it is a man? And Rav Kook says, man, Adam, the word first man, Adam. It's not somebody like we learned last time, that it's not something physical, but first man, he was it was the creation itself, all creation. This is Adam. I'll say in Hebrew and then it's אורות הקודש ב' שנ"ט. נשמת האדם בהרחבתה כוללת היא בתוכה את הנשמות הפרטיות של כל הברואים כולם. The soul of a man include itself, consists in here in itself, all other souls of all creation. And that's the same say Malbim. יא נפש האדם כוללת כל מעשה בראשית. The soul of man include all מעשה בראשית, all creation. And a lot of things like this. Okay, that's all that. It's in spiritual level. We talk about some maybe mystical level. We talk about in this level. Okay. But suddenly in modern physics, in science, suddenly they discover that what happened in reality. Really, all our world exists because there is a conscious of a man, his perception. Now it's already not it's not Torah, it's physics. They say like this: all matter it's something that you can touch it because no, I will say it like this: all matter is energy. All energy it's like a wave, and each particle in a subatom world, nuclear world, each particle it can be wave or particle or something like something that you can theoretically you can touch, something physical. And we imagine to ourselves that this world is something objective, and we are people, we are something subjective. We are inside of this world. Like Shakespeare, Machmo said, all the world is stage, and we are an actors in this stage. Stage, it's state, always. You remember this his expression of Shakespeare, Machmo? He said, all the world is stage, and we have our roles, and we have our enters, and we come, make some role, and we go. But world exists objectively. That's how we would think. Modern physics says no. All the world, all matter that exists in the world, it should be like it exists like a wave, and only because there is man that observe this wave became something that you can touch, something physical. I know that what I tell you now, it's difficult to believe and to accept, and that's why I brought you some movie animated cartoon that explain this thing in physics. I will show you.
So, what they taught us in school isn't really the way it is, and that our senses are playing tricks on us.
Bring them
You just gotta
closer.
wonder, what is this reality that we find ourselves in? Quantum physics says it's all just waves of information. Do I believe that? I hope so. Yikes! And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness.
No.
The
Actually, I
infamous
make it.
double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hit. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marble, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. We get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they can interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves.
Now, you see that that electrons, they behave as waves. Yeah, we see that now. Until now, that is what he says. But in quantum physics, there are all kind of different, very, very weird things. For example, they prove, like a experimental, they prove that the same object can be in two different places in the same time. One thing here, not one electron, let's say here, and another can be in a distance of 1,000,000 kilometers. It will be the same electron in two different places. Not like, look like, not his copy, not its copy, no, this thing itself in another place also. It's impossible to imagine, but that's what they prove. And now you'll see that's what they wanted to show you. Listen.
As a particle becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. Physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands.
You understand what he says now? When they absorb, when they saw this, when they look at on that, immediately electron became start to behave as a marble, as a small thing. It was wave, and suddenly, when he understand, electron, matter, understand that somebody look at him, he changed his behavior and became matter, and that is scientific thing. It's not theory; it's proved in experiments. Listen to this again. I will show. I will. You see this thing that it measure. It's like eye here, but it's some machine, some equipment that make measurement. When you absorb on this electron, it changes be from wave to matter. Look.
The measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble.
You've heard?
No, it's just again.
Huh?
It's now the behavior is again. It's the other way around. It's strange. Yeah.
You've heard that?
Oh, because by observation we change the parameter.
Yes, by the observation. It's unbelievable. Listen, what else he'll say?
Used a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act.
Listen what he says. Electron decided
Yeah.
to act.
Differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. It was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange netherworld of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
You've heard? Simply by observing.
It decided, so it has an own will. Maybe not a free will because I don't know, but it has an own will because it decided. It's on purpose.
Decide like a react. It means you react on observation. Now, so what it means to us, what it happened. The whole world, all reality, it was waves. In Genesis, when Hashem created this world were waves. It wasn't something hard. And only when a man came to this world, by his observing of this world, he collapsed this function of wave, he transformed wave to matter. It's like if I'll tell you that this room is full of only waves until somebody get into this room. It's ridiculous. When you are not here, nobody hears now. This room, there are books, shelves, there is tables, chairs. Physics says no. It's only waves. And when somebody came here, or some camera here or something, immediately it became physical. It's impossible. In reality, it's not like this. I know. I don't think that in an empty room there are waves, but in level of reality, all world, it works exactly like this. I will show you another film that now it's already not animated.
כל מה שיקרה בעתיד. איזה טעם יש לבחירה חופשית של האדם בין טוב ורע?
This is the someone that I knew. This man, he's Professor Eliyahu Braniver.
He's my uncle. He's my cousin.
Your cousin? How it can be? He was born in Russia.
His grandmother was there were triplets. My grandmother was the daughter of one of the triplets. And one of the other triplets was his grandmother. So.
But your roots from Russia?
No. We found out, my mother and my father was from, came to Israel, and they had an article about Professor Brinover, and they also had a tree of the family. So my mother called the office, and he got Danny Brownover, Professor Brownover's son. So my mother started talking about it, and he said, "I have a tree." He said, "1 minute." Apparently, he went to his desk and pulled out a tree. My mother started saying names. He started to,
Wow, unbelievable. He was a Russian professor in university.
he's still alive.
He's still alive? I don't know. I don't know. You have to be
I
very
haven't
old.
heard anything
You have to
about
be
him.
90 years old now, something like this, at
He
least.
is.
At least.
He's 3 years younger than my mother. So my mother would have been 94, 95. So he's 93, 90.
Yeah, something like that. Wow, unbelievable. Listen, so what he was Russia, he lived in Soviet Union, Russian professor, atheistic, not believing God, nothing. He started to investigate this idea and those midrashim and those things that and he understood that it's impossible that all that exists without Hashem. And he did tshuva, and he became a
He was
Chabadnik.
a Chabadnik.
Chabadnik,
And
yes.
he went.
And
He
he's
went to
very
the Rebbe,
famous.
He went to the Rebbe, and he started telling him what he does. Now, what he does is he's the mumche on solar panels.
Mhm.
But it's more. It's what he does is like it's this long, the word. So Rabbi started explaining to him exactly what he's talking about. So,
And now he'll tell you about this man, Eugene Hitler. He's a Nobel Prize winner in physics, and he answered. He says that only man, no animal, not just even not equipment. That without man, that also doesn't react. Waves doesn't react. Only when there is observer, man, it makes suddenly it causes a collapse of function of wave. Like this wave became immediately something hard. Listen.
יכול להתבצע על ידי מכשיר.
This is the like illustration. It's like how it works. All those like waves. Okay, this is a reality.
או על ידי בעל חיים, שאינו אדם, ואשר אין לו בחירה חופשית. עצמים דוממים משנים את התנהגותם רק כאשר אדם צופה בהם. במילים אחרות, העצם נהפך לגלי הסתברות הממלאים את החלל כולו.
You see these red things here? This is the function of waves. This is already not a movie, like an animated cartoon. This is in laboratory. That's how you can see by yourself that electron was wave like here, and suddenly it became something hard, something particle.
מעידים על גודל ההסתברות שהעצם יימצא ברגע מסוים בנקודה מסוימת, ושיהיו לו תכונות פיזיקליות מסוימות. רק לאדם ישנה בחירה חופשית שאינה כפופה לחוקי הטבע. אפשר להבין מכך שעצם ההתבוננות האנושית היא המקנה מובן.
עצם התבוננות האנושית, the very fact of your looking on that makes reality to be reality, like you see here. It was waves and now it's already room.
למציאות. אם אין אדם שצופה בעצם, אין עצם זה קיים כלל מבחינה מדעית.
Listen now. Understood? Immediately became waves. It was waves, men get into the room, became a room, he left the room, again waves. And that's what modern physics says. Now. No, we didn't finish it. Mhm. Now, everything that I told you now, and I show you that in reality, Rav Kook and a lot of our rabbis said those things literally, openly. They said, for example, um, אוקיי, I'll tell in Hebrew and then I'll translate. כשאנחנו אומרים שאדם לא לבד שהוא מושפע מהעולם כולו, אלא הוא משפיע עליו, והשפעתו היא השפעה כבירית, עצמית, כללית ורוחנית וחיובית. כלומר, לא רק השפעה חלקית. It means, he says, man influence on this world, but just his influence. It's not like that he invent electricity and all like machines and all that. No, not that is his influence. שאנו אומרים שאדם מכריח כוחות הטבע להשתמש לרצונו, קיטור, האש, מים, חשמל וכאלה שעושה דברו. Not that. כן? כי כל זה הוא רק שטחי, very shallow influence. This is a very shallow influence. כי אם עצמיות אשר לעולם, the essence of the world itself is influenced by a man. בכל מילואו, בכל היקפו, in all his appearance of the world. מתייחסת אליו יחס של שעבוד, and all the world obey to a man's wisdom. ושקבלת ההשפעה, and receiving of influence of a man. And there are a lot of quotes like this that say, no, man, this is the main hero of this world. It's not just one of subjects of reality, like Shakespeare says. He says, this is a stage, and we are just actors. We come, we play our roles, and we go, and stage is still. It exists. He says, Rav Kook, no. We are not actors in this theater. We are directors. We are director of this performance. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is writer, and we are directors. We influence the physical reality itself by our observation, and it's not something mystical, something like a poetical expression. This is the reality.
In physics we say catalyst.
Pardon?
In physics we say catalyst.
Catalysator, catalyzation? No. Catalyze, it's that make those process quicker or more intensive. But here it's not quicker and more intensive. Here he create. It's written in if you look for in Google, you'll find observer, effect of observer. Look at this title, effect of observer. And that was so strange. And Albert Einstein came to Israel, and he met Rav Kook. And Rav Kook told him, all your things that you discovered in science, we have here in our sources in Judaism. It's not something new. So Einstein answered to Rav Kook, what, really? And what do you think where I took all that from? You know, this is very, very deep thing. I wrote you, I wrote you this midrash in the beginning, that all creation thought that man, this is a god, and we say, okay, it's midrash, and suddenly, 2,000 years later, modern physics discovered that that is true. Man influence to this world, not just influence, the very existence of the fact of existence of this world, it because in this world there is a man. But it's a very deep subject, and we have to talk about that next time. I'll tell you more about that.
Power off.
Okay, power off. That's it.